Do you know what this weekend is?
No.
The game. Michigan,
Oh,
Penn State.
okay, yes. Okay, yes. I
now
should
you're
have
back.
known. Of course I
So,
know.
good news is I've decided I know exactly how to help Penn State win.
Huh.
Yeah. So, I mean, foolproof, pretty much. Okay?
Well, hopefully
so
it works.
when I was young, I don't know, like real young, and I would ride along with my grandfather in his truck or whatever. We'd be going on trips. Every time we'd get to a bridge, do you know what he'd say to me? He'd be like, "Hey, everybody, lift your feet." And like as though like it mattered that we all did it.
Sure.
And 100% of the time, we got across that bridge safely.
How about that?
Yeah. So, my thought is this. They really need our help. James Franklin needs our help this weekend to get Penn State there. Just like my grandfather needed, like us to, everybody needed to lift their feet. I'm thinking like, hey, we all need to be jumping for that ball when it's thrown. And if we're on defense, we got to be like digging into the couch a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe even like running some blitzes of our own. I don't know. But I think this needs to be a full-on Penn State participation weekend.
Right.
Because they need us.
I got something way better.
You do?
Oh, absolutely.
No, I thought mine was sure-proof.
If I don't watch,
they'll win.
Almost a guarantee. So I watched two
the way it
Eagles
feels.
games this season. The first one was the Jets. They lost. And they never lost against the Jets, the way I understand. And then last night I watched it again, and they almost lost.
Almost. Did you bail before it was over so they would?
I should have. But the Phillies, again, I'm not a big sports guy, so I don't spend a lot of time watching sports.
Okay.
But the Phillies, 3 games to finish it. And I watched all 3 of them.
They all lost.
And they lost them all.
So we're saying a lot of this just hinges on your participation.
I think my lack of. I think lack of participation might be best.
Then that's what we'll do this weekend.
And I am accepting checks.
Okay.
If anybody wants to pay me not to
help
watch.
you to That's awesome.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Homeology podcast, a weekly conversation with your HVAC team here at Vertex Mechanical. We're glad you've taken a few moments as part of your day to laugh with us, maybe learn something new, and be inspired.
Well, we got a game plan. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Homeology podcast. I'm JV.
And I'm Vince.
And it's been a while.
It has.
It's kind of been like oddly, like not super busy, but when it's not super busy, we get really busy.
Correct.
Like because we're trying to help keep things busy. That's the way it works. Anyway, so
time for this.
We apologize to the 7 of you that watch us regularly. We're glad to be back, and we have a fun conversation today to talk a little bit. It's amazing how many things you and I will talk about in a week, in a month, or in several months in this case since we last met.
Right.
And I was like, that'd be great for a podcast.
Yeah, we have a list somewhere, don't we?
We do. And it's always like, but when are we going to find time to sit down and do a podcast? And here it is. We've entered the month of November, and we said we need to go out this year strong.
Right.
We started strong.
That's a good idea.
Had kind of a middle. And we're gonna end strong. So thank you. And what we want to chat about today is I was going to say gimmicks, but specifically like the ways that some companies pursue opportunities through, we'll say, creative marketing.
You mean like $49,
Yeah.
services
like
on the big billboard?
We'll maintain your equipment for nothing, right? $49 to come and do a maintenance.
Yeah.
Or my personal favorite is you get something free with this purchase. But like it's not like you get a free like coupon to the Green Dragon. It's like you get a whole system free. You get a free furnace if you buy the other half, you know. So talk to me, Vince, because that sounds really, really good.
Yeah, it does.
And some people might be saying, too good to be true.
Is that not the true statement in all this?
That's exactly where we come back. But
Yeah.
But so in truth, for some of our listeners, maybe you're just learning about Vertex. This industry is not known for transparency, to be honest, right?
No, not really well.
And these are the type of things, these type of marketing campaigns that really don't help build trust and a good reputation. And so what's really behind some of these campaigns?
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it too, because our industry struggles a lot with trust.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. These kind of campaigns, let's face it, our trucks, till they're outfitted and ready to go, they're $80,000 investments.
Right.
And we're putting a guy in there that we're paying, $40 an hour to do the work that we need him to do. And if you think that we can do that for $49, you're kidding yourself. I mean, that's just not happening. And so there's what's attached. Like, what are the strings? And I've had so many people say, listen, they're going to come to my house and they're going to do this for $49 and they're not getting another penny out of me. Yeah. And then I see them a week or two later and they're like, yeah, somehow they got $500 from me. And
somehow.
And the thing is that let's face it, and I don't want to call it bait and switch. I'm not sure that's a fair thing, but I don't know what else to call it. But really the idea is let's get the techs into the house and let's use this to get them in the house. But there is no intention to billing $49 and walking away. Well, that just it doesn't work in the numbers.
Let's talk then about our technicians and what a customer might experience, because the technicians are trained to not just look at the system, the HVAC system's health, but they're trained to see the comfort of the home, which includes the air quality. Yeah. It includes water conditioning, water heating, and they are going to be mindful of that.
That's correct.
But I think the distinction is we present that as a company as we want you to be aware of what the current status or health of your multiple systems are so that you're a well-informed homeowner, not a, hey, by the way, if you don't do this, you're going to pay for it.
Well, the big difference there is, and this is where I kind of struggle, and I don't want to call it an ethics thing, but it kind of maybe is. Where the $49, those techs are trained well. Our techs are trained well to recognize, as you say, hey, if there's a drip at your water heater, you do want to know that as a homeowner.
You do, absolutely. I want to be made aware of it.
Absolutely, and we want our techs to educate and inform on that. We want to say, hey, listen, there's a drip there. You may want to keep your eye on that. And here's what it would take to maybe make that go away or replace that. And in all the companies that are doing that, that's a good thing to do. Again, it's just a matter of, why use that $49 thing to end up with the same outcome anyway? Yeah. And really, let's face it, if you're as a tech sent out to do something for $49, knowing that it's a loss leader, it puts a lot of pressure on those techs to sell something. In other words, they may actually be forced into finding something, shall we say, so they can get that ticket up to something where the company's going to make money off of them today and not lose money.
Yeah, that's actually a really important thing that those technicians and those specific types of marketing campaigns are often being paid by what they sell.
Right.
And so the hook is in, you get them there, and then it's like, okay, now find every opportunity you can because your paycheck depends on it, which that's the part that you and I are like, ethically, that feels like it requires manipulation in order for the technician to be fairly compensated, and nobody wants to be in that position.
Right, and that's the thing. And I won't say, there's times where when you have that situation, when you have that kind of pressure on you as a tech, that you may see something that legitimately is a problem, but you're going to maybe elevate the importance of that problem in the moment because at the end of the day, it's all I got to talk about, and that's the only thing I have, and I cannot walk away from here for $49. It's just not going to work out.
And for you and I, Vince, for Vertex, we would suggest that if a technician is exaggerating or magnifying a situation, that's not right.
That's right. We don't want that. I mean, that's not helpful for any of us.
No,
I mean, because the fact that we're in people's homes, we are making decisions based upon the information that these techs are providing us.
Sure.
I can't see everything without using their eyes and their knowledge.
Sure, that's right.
And so therefore, for that to be accurate data and accurate information so that we know that we're giving our customers the best service, the best advice is so important. And that's why it's like, why wouldn't you just, hey, if somebody wants to have their system maintained, let's give them the price that we need to give them to come out and do it properly and do it right without having the added pressure on our techs to all of a sudden get that ticket up to where we can make money as a company.
It's a fair value for the service being provided, and it's fair on the technician who's not put in an awkward position of being forced to perhaps distort the truth.
Yeah. And unfortunately, and again, you said it earlier, the industry is really guilty. The training that's out there from some of the biggest consulting firms in the nation that are training techs how to be good techs and how to do that. they're kind of behind this, and it's, and then it's the aspect of the profitability that comes with it.
Yeah.
If you're just looking at numbers,
Yeah.
and that's all you care about as a company owner or what, you're going to love this scenario.
Well, isn't that like you just used a terrifying word almost? You said if you're going to be a good tech, as though good means high tickets, and you and I are saying like, wait, no, like good is a qualitative thing, not a quantitative thing. Good is that you're technically proficient, you care well for the customer, you're honest and transparent. Not you're good at making more money, okay?
Right.
And that's, like you said, there are methods, there are schemes, so to speak, that are putting that label, this is what makes you good, on an entire industry.
Correct.
Which is upside down.
Right.
So tell me about this other piece that I mentioned, the basically buy part of the system, we'll give you the other half free.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, it doesn't. I mean, let's face it. I mean, and there a lot of times you'll see the free furnace with an air conditioner, right? And so is there validity to that? Probably not. It's just like the other thing.
Yeah.
Nothing is for free.
Sure.
So there's a couple ways that a company can actually do this, and I think it's important to just, if you recognize what is maybe trying to happen, you as a consumer will recognize what is happening in front of you, and you can make a decision accordingly. But in all fairness, yes, we could come in and we could actually say, hey, here's your air conditioner, and we'll throw the furnace in for free, because at the end of the day, us taking that furnace out and putting another one in is actually helping us on the labor side of it enough that maybe it does kind of work out in the numbers.
That's a good point, yeah.
But I will guarantee that it's got to be elevated on the AC side to help cover true costs.
Yeah.
And actually, again, we are all in this. We have to make money to exist.
Yeah.
And there's nothing for free. There's nothing that's truly coming to you for free. And again, for me personally, I struggle with the marketing aspect in that a little bit to some degree.
Absolutely.
There's also the aspect of, as a salesman, shall we say, I'm going to come out and look at that and say, well, here's the thing. I can give you a free furnace, but it's just going to be the cheap single stage, nothing, no frills kind of thing.
Right.
But the real good fit for your house here is a 2-stage or variable speed and things like that, which is now going to cost you this?
Yeah.
Because we're not giving those away for free. I'll almost guarantee it.
Yeah.
So it feels a little bit like, there's an intentionality there that we know the probability of that intentionality is probably never going to happen.
Yeah, in some ways it's just moving numbers around on a page to reflect that promise.
Yeah.
Right? And rarely is it possible. I think what our hope is to anyone that's listening or watching is that you'll recognize that transparency and trust has been long missing from this industry.
Yeah.
And the more HVAC companies in particular get bought by private equity and larger firms, the less of that there is than ever before.
Right.
It becomes such a shadow game of what you're purchasing and what it should really cost, etc. Our petition is that you would simply make the effort to get a second opinion, not just with us, but with another vendor.
Correct.
Because there's so many options.
Yeah.
Right. There's so many choices.
Yeah, there is. And the other thing is too, I think as these PEs or private equities buy up, our industry, which is happening all around us
every week.
pretty fast.
Yep.
And it all of a sudden just becomes about data. We're losing the relational aspect of what it's about.
Yeah.
Being in business for me is about relationship with my customers, and not only that, my own employees. And so both of those hold obligations for me that are in places where, I guess the standard of what I consider to be good and accurate marketing is not in those fashions.
Yep, I agree.
So.
Well, hopefully this brought some insight to maybe what you already assumed or what you already thought about some of those marketing gimmicks. The thing is, we know that they still work as an initial hook. We recognize that. We just encourage you to due diligence, get a hold of a relational contractor, someone that's going to build a relationship and be invested in the process with you. We like to talk here internally that caring for your home should be entrusted to someone that's also caring for your hometown.
Right.
That we like to be a part of it. We like to be engaged in our community. So if you have questions about that, if you have questions about transparency or how to trust somebody in the HVAC world with plumbing, electrical, heating and cooling, give Vertex a call. Visit us online at vertex-mechanical.com. Thanks for joining us today, and we look forward to having you with us again very soon.
Sounds good.
Take care.
Hey, thanks again for joining us today. As always, we hope you enjoyed your time with us and you'll return again next week. And if you need to get hold of us, just visit vertex-mechanical.com to call or email.